Listening Library presents Candace, the Universe, and Everything by Sherri L. Smith. Narrated by Ashley J. Hobbs. To invisible women and impossible doorways everywhere. Prologue, 1908. Every Thursday, Elizabeth Simpson stood on the sidewalk in the same spot on her way to bringing her father his lunch, skirts carefully lifted away from the mess of automobiles and horse-drawn carriages in the streets. Unmarried at nearly 30 years of age, this lunch duty was her mother's way of making her useful, rather than daydreaming in the city parks. Not that Elizabeth was daydreaming. She was thinking, observing. But she could do that on the way to deliver her father's lunch, too. This Thursday, Armitage Avenue was bustling with traffic in the road and on the sidewalk. After a few close calls, Elizabeth stepped onto the grassy verge that marked the beginning of the new elementary school campus. Her father's lunch pail banged against the side of her trim jacket as she lifted her binoculars to her eyes once again. Walden Elementary School wasn't technically a whites-only institution, but you would not find any colored students there, thanks to zoning laws and other, less documented geographies. Otherwise, she'd have walked right across that lawn and past the main school building to what she really wanted to see. The area marked off to the north and slowly rising. She trained her binoculars on the blue sky above the growing foundation. "No need for those," a male voice said. Elizabeth felt the warmth of a body near her left shoulder. She lowered her binoculars. "Pardon?" He was tall, broad-shouldered, skin like mahogany. He tipped his cap to her, a working man's hat. "Miss, forgive my saying so, but every Thursday I see you walk by this spot and stand here with those glasses to your face. Except most days I'm standing over there." He indicated the far side of the field where the construction workers were laying the building foundation. "And while I'm sure it's just my imagination, it seems like you've been looking at me. So I thought I'd wait here today and introduce myself. Ellis Monroe, formerly of Louisiana, currently working construction for the new school." He swept his cap off, revealing a head full of dark, soft, close-cropped curls when he bowed. Elizabeth straightened and took a step back. "Well, Mr. Monroe, I am sorry to disappoint you. I am not interested in the labors of men. I am a bird watcher." She held out her binoculars. After a moment's hesitation, he took them. "Where am I looking?" he asked. Elizabeth smiled, although the man could not see it. That he was interested pleased her. "Northeast of the cornerstone," she said, "about 23 feet up." Ellis Monroe moved the glasses with the precision of a land surveyor, which, it turned out, was one of his jobs. "All I see is blue sky, miss," he said apologetically. "Keep watching," she said. They stood together for a full 5 minutes, the man not complaining once. "I'm afraid my lunch break will be over soon," he said, still keeping his eyes on the spot. "And I am far too late delivering this lunch pail," she agreed. "My father is a mason in the stone yards past Halsted." She reached for the glasses. Reluctantly, he gave them to her. "Never knew bird watching's like fishing. Lots of waiting and hoping," he said. He gave her a look, a warm look, one that she found herself returning. "But I'm a patient man. Maybe we can try again tomorrow." She did not know whether to take offense or allow the blush that rushed to her cheeks to fluster her. "Good day, Mr. Monroe." "Good day, miss," he said. She hadn't given him her name, and he did not push his luck by asking. The next time Elizabeth saw Ellis Monroe, the first story of the school had risen from the ground, and the framing was beginning on the second. Soon, her birding spot would be on the inside of the building. It was in this state of disappointment that she spotted him striding toward her, a roll of dark papers in his hand. "I haven't seen you around," he said by way of greeting. "There are other birds to watch, other roads to walk," she replied. The fact was, she'd been afraid to see Ellis Monroe again. He had seemed so warm, so familiar, it had alarmed her. Elizabeth had planned on spending the rest of her life tending her parents into their old age. A spinster. Not someone who grew flustered at the attentions of a handsome man. Instead, she had come on weekends, when the construction crews were at rest, and watched the strange spot in the sky. "What's that, Mr. Monroe?" she asked. He held up the roll of papers. "Blueprints, miss. You see, I've been watching that spot you showed me, northeast of the cornerstone, 23 feet up. And I've seen your bird." Elizabeth's stomach did a little flip. "I've seen it swoop in and out of God's creation like a window in the sky," she said. He smiled. "That's exactly right. Like a window in the sky." She returned his grin. Then he remembered the blueprints. "There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy." He quoted Shakespeare as he unrolled the sheath before her. "It seems we are about to entomb one of the wonders of the universe." The blueprint showed clearly where the second-floor corridor would seal the strange window away for good. "I was afraid this was the case," Elizabeth admitted. "But it doesn't have to be," he replied. "What do you mean?" "I mean, I'm the draftsman for the architect, and I've moved a few fixtures around. Nothing to harm the structure of the school, but—" He showed her a second sheet, this one a closer view of the north hallway interior. "They plan on lining the hallways with cupboards for students to store their coats and books inside. No dragging them around on book straps like we used to do, if we were lucky enough to go to school." Which, clearly, he had been. "Would you tell me your name, miss?" he asked suddenly. "Elizabeth Simpson," she said, surprised. "My people came up from Mississippi," she added, recalling that his were from Louisiana. "Miss Elizabeth Simpson, formerly of Mississippi, I would very much like to give you a piece of the sky." And then he showed her a certain locker, 10th in the row on the far side of the hallway. "Number 235. It will fit around your window in the sky." So the birds can still pass through from wherever they come from, she realized aloud. So the birds can still pass through. They held each other's gaze for a long moment, and Elizabeth Simpson never did become a spinster, but a wife and a mother and a bird watcher and a science enthusiast. And in time, a grandmother called Meemaw by her granddaughter Loretta Young. And this story, the story of her life, would be the first of many stories shared over Loretta's crib and on Elizabeth's knee about locker 235, the window in the sky. On Thursdays, the sky windows opened and the birds of unordinary coloring escaped their invisible world. Doriana placed a ladder in the woods, climbed to the 61st rung, and pressed her eye to the peephole there. What wonders she saw I shall endeavor to recount, for she told me herself what miracles came to pass in that land beyond the sky. 1. 120 years later. "Candace!" Candace Wells nearly dropped her phone trying to shove it into her pocket, totally not glooming over photos of her best friend and her next best friend having fun camping without her. "Nadine!" Candace screamed back, swinging her best friend into a hug. Sure, she'd seen Becca's pics from when she and Dean went to the movies together, and the mall. And that was totally fine, Candace supposed, even if they hadn't invited her. But an actual camping trip? She'd just pretend she didn't know about any of it. She'd fall back on what she was supposed to know about Nadine's last weeks of summer vacation. How were the Philippines? I don't know the grammar, Dean bounced as they spun around. Similar back-to-school reunion dances were happening up and down the hallway. But the trip was great. My Lola cooks even better than my mom. Candy Cane, look at your hair. Is it... Candace broke into a grin. DPS, Golden Grove unleaving. They both squealed.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?